There it is. Okay. So again, I want to go to 9127 and remind you of some stuff, and then there are some new bullets here that I want to share with you today. And then we see how this 9127 is actually connected to the structure of the Quran. Okay. So this is from the very simple relation. 19th prime is 67 and 19th composite is 30. So these are all reminders from previous things. So just refresh your memory. Chapter 67 has 30 verses. This is physical fact. 19 times 67 is 1273. That's the number of word God from 11 to 9127. You can verify that because we have that in our translation, so you can actually follow it on those numbers that we have there. It tells you what the frequency of the word God is in 9127, and you see it's 1273. So that's where it's coming from. That's how it's generated. Okay. 19 times 30 is 570, which is the number of frequencies of Aleph plus Lam plus Mim in chapter 32 in the Quran. We just read that chapter. Okay, so that's where it's coming from. And so now you see the gravity of what I was saying before is really going to double in every dimensions that you can think of. Okay, because now we know this. Right. 570th Gaussian prime is 9127. So we're back to 9127. So the count of Aleph Lam Mims in chapter 32 is connected to chapter 9 having 127 verses. Okay. 570th Chen prime is 8627. Okay, these are new. Okay. 8627 happens to be also a twin prime, and it's the 368th twin prime. Okay? And these all can be verified. Okay? If we have tables, you can look at the tables. Okay. So 368 happens to be the frequency of Ha plus Mim in Surah 43. Okay, so you see how it was connected? Our 9127 is actually connected to the initials now in chapter 43. Now, from here on, I just want to tell you how this cascades into the Quranic facts. These physical facts of the Quran, mathematical facts. Okay. 368's composite happens to be 456. 456 is 19 times 24. And Surah 43 is the 90th initial surah that was revealed, and it is in the Quran, and the 24th initial surah in the Quran. Okay. It's an extra and here that we don't need. So that's better now. Okay. So it's the 90th initial surah revealed in the Quran and the 24th initial surah in the Quran. So that's why it's 19 times 24. It's not 9 times 25. It's just not the mindless multiple of 19. It's a very design in a basis that it actually generates other aspects of the Quran. Why chapter 43 happens to be the 24th initial surah in the Quran. When you count all the initial surahs from the beginning of the Quran to chapter 43, you notice it's the 24th one. That's why. Okay. That has to do something with the initials in that chapter. $456 composite happens to be 559, which is 13 times 43, and Surah 13 in the Quran has 43 verses. Okay? So that's another mission that 456 actually is carrying. 559 composite happens to be 684, which is 19 times 36, and Surah 36 is the 19th initial surah in the Quran. Again, you can do that. You can count the number of initial surahs. Okay? The first initial surah is 2, the second one is 3, the third one is 7, and you just count it like that until you get to the 36th, and Surah 36, which happens to be the 19th initial surah in the Quran, Yasin. Okay. Now, 559 composite happens to be, as I said, happens to be 60. Now, 684 also you can write it as 6 times 114, which is the number of surahs in the Quran. Okay. Or 114 times 6. You can either these are called, it doesn't matter which way you write it, it's always going to be the same product. Okay. So, these are commutation laws. So it says Surah 61 has 14 verses, and Surah 114 has 6 verses. Okay. So if I want to go on this, again, this can generate 114.6 can actually generate why 9 is supposed to have 27 verses. Why 19, 127 verses. Why 19 is supposed to have 98 verses. Okay? It generates all of those. So inshallah, I'll talk about this, why this is a controlling mechanism by which actually God put it in there. So the claims that they are making is going to be nullified. Okay? Shows God's awesome power. How that 114.6, okay, that number 1146, how this number actually comes back to tell us about the structure of the Quran. So as I said, now that we know about this, now that we know about chapter 32, and why the number of Alif Lam Mim, or the frequency of Alif plus Lam plus Mim in that chapter is actually 570, how this is actually connected to the structure of the Quran. Okay. This is the awesomeness of the Quran. Okay. So this is the awesomeness of the Quran, and that's why, as I said, it gives really absolute gravity to the literal word of God. Okay. So I'm going to stop here and we'll finish our Juma. Allahul Kabir.